What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another video. This is your boy CJ Talk Sports, brought to you live by CJ Talk Sports, aka Mr. Christian Jones. And today, we're going to be doing my final 3.0 mock draft. So, we are going to select all. This is only going to be a 1.0 just for fun. We're going to do some trades, but we're going to keep them as realistic as possible. With the first overall pick, we already know who it is. It's been set in stone for weeks now, months really. Trevor Lawrence. No explanation needed. At number 2, it's all but confirmed that the Jets are going to be taking Mr. Zach Wilson of BYU. I love his arm talent. He's mobile. He's tough. He reminds me a lot of Sam Darnold, but not quite the amount of upside. I think he's a perfect fit for that West Coast system with the 49ers. They have some pretty good weapons. I actually think the Jets are going to be low-key pretty good. I'm not saying they're going to be a borderline playoff team, but can I see them winning about 5, maybe 6 games? Sure. I actually think that would be a pretty nice bet. Oh, once I get the full schedule out, and so yeah, Zach Wilson to the Jets. And number 3, this is where the draft really starts. I honestly at this point have no idea where the Niners are going to go. 2 days ago, I was convinced that they were going to take Mac Jones. Now there's conflicting reports saying that they're really split on Mac Jones and Trey Lance. I've said it from the beginning that I think the 49ers, the main reason why they jumped this high is because I think they're going for the kid with the higher ceiling. And with that, I'm going to have the 49ers to select Trey Lance out of North Dakota State. I think he's perfect for the system. He has the high upside. You could still play Jimmy Garoppolo for a year, which sounds like that's exactly what they're going to do. And yeah, I think Trey Lance, I think he's the Niners guy. And that's why I think they're going to roll with. At 4, the Atlanta Falcons. As much as I want to trade down this pick, I don't think with my previous video out that Denver just landed Teddy Bridgewater, I don't think you're going to see a high run of quarterbacks this early. I mean, obviously we know the first 3 picks are going to be quarterbacks, but after that, you could see some sliding in this draft. And so, with the fact that the Falcons are asking for a boatload to move this pick, I don't think it's for a quarterback. I think it's for Kyle. I truly believe it's for Kyle Pitts. And yeah, he may say that he believes that the first 4 picks are going to be quarterbacks. I don't think so. I think the Falcons are enamored with him. I think the fact that Arthur Smith has a background in coaching up tight ends, making them superstars. Well, he has a superstar tight end in Kyle Pitts. So there you go. Gonna delete this. And number 5, if the Bengals are smart, I mean, seriously, if the Bengals are smart, I know Joe Burrow wants Jamar Chase. I get it. He's a superstar at wide receiver. I get it. But the Bengals, their offensive line is still not good. And you have a bona fide star at tackle, and Penei Sewell staring you in the face. You can get a receiver later. If you want an LSU receiver so bad, bro, go get Terrence Marshall in the 2nd round if he falls there. You know, but you can get a receiver anywhere in this year's draft. It's that loaded. So get the best offensive tackle in Penei Sewell. You could plug him in at guard or kick him outside to play right tackle now that you got Jonah Jackson back. You need to solidify your 2 bookends at tackle. So with that, I'm going to have the Bengals select Penei Sewell out of Oregon. At number 6, the Miami Dolphins. They need a number 1 receiver. And I'm going to disagree with my boy Nate Talks Giants on the Hubs channel a little bit, because even though Jamar Chase is your prototypical outside boundaries receiver. He has a lot of flexibility to his game. He could play in the slide. He could play either boundary receiver position, and Tua desperately needs a legit number one. And so Jamar Chase, bam, that's their guy. At number 7, this is where I have New England moving up. I think New England sees that sees that the first 3 quarterbacks are off the board. They probably try to move up with Atlanta, but Atlanta's asking price was too high. So we're gonna have them training up with the Detroit Lions. We're gonna give them the 15th pick, 46th pick, and their first round next year for number 7. Trade accepted. And the Patriots, they get their number 1 quarterback, Justin Fields. Perfect fit for New England. Perfect fit. He's got the size. He's got a good arm. He's mobile. He's a leader. He holds guys accountable. And I believe out of all the Ohio State quarterbacks that are finally going to blossom, I think Fields is the guy. Perfect fit. He could sit for a year under Cam Newton, learn the system, and New England got your guy. At number 8, the Carolina Panthers. I've been going on about this for weeks. Shout out to the Hub for giving me this tidbit. But I have to look at what Carolina did in their offseason and addressing the needs on their roster. I still look at left tackle as a humongous need for this team. Okay, you just got Sam Darnold. Okay, you got to protect him. You have a left tackle staring you right in the face. I believe they're going to go with Rashawn Slater. Plug and play guy. He could play some guard. He could play right tackle. But I think the fact that they just tagged Taylor Morton to be their right tackle. Rashawn Slater. Perfect fit at left tackle. At number 9, Denver Broncos. Man, you talk about setting yourself up for success. They addressed their cornerback position through free agency. They just landed Teddy Bridgewater in a quarterback battle with, about to say Paxton Lynch, with Drew Lock. Well, now you get a huge focal point on your defense. Vic Fangio, I know he's going to love this kid. I really do. He's my number 1 highest ranked defensive player on the board. Micah Parsons. Plug and play guy. Okay. He could line up Alton. He could line up next to, I believe, Todd Davis, their middle linebacker. He's a game wrecker. He's a criminal on the field. This kid has top 5 talent written all over him. As much as I would like to see the Giants get him at 11, I think this move almost solidifies that Micah Parsons is going to be a Denver Bronco. At number 10, Dallas. Boy, do I hate making this pick for them. But I'm doing it. They need a corner, and they get the big one. Patrick Surtain. My number 1 corner on the board. Been that way from weeks now. I love his size. He's the prototype. He just gets it done. And in under Dan Quinn's system, you need a guy that's just as effective in zone as far as man-to-man coverage. Patrick Surtain being able to align himself next to his former teammate Trayvon Diggs. And Dallas, you got your bookends at corner. Now you need a safety and to buffer up the rest of your offensive line. At number 11, my New York Giants. Look at this board. Look at this board. Now, I'm not believing all this smoke that the Giants are interested in corner. I really like the corners in this draft, but that is not a position of need. And you need your first pick to be an instant contributor. So with the 11th pick of the 2021 NFL Draft, the New York Giants select DeVonta Smith, Heisman Trophy winner. Guy just gets it done. Okay, I don't care about, I care a little bit about his lack of size, but he could easily add 10 to 15 pounds of weight before we get to training camp. Okay, his weight is not going to be that big of an issue. Now, yeah, is he frail? Sure, but he's competing against some of the top defenses in the Big Ten, and it's never really bothered him. Now to make this clear, I still have Jalen Waddle as my number one. As my number 2 wide receiver. But I think in terms of fit, DeVonta Smith is a much better fit because he could play both inside and outside on the Giants team. If you want to put Shepard back in the slot, you could do that. But if you want to keep him outside, DeVonta Smith, plug and play guy. Plus, he's probably going to replace Sterling Shepard in a year if we move off from him. Number 12, the Philadelphia Eagles. I've been running this joke for a while now, and I'm going to keep doing it. It's the Jalen Express. Shout out to the Polar Express, one of my favorite Christmas movies. But the Eagles, 3 Jalens. Jalen Hurts, Jalen Reagor, and now Waddle. You grab Jalen Waddle. Now, I know you guys may be thinking, Christian, there's no way Mac Jones is going to fall this far. No way. And to a certain degree, I agree. But this is where I think we're going to get our second trade. Again, going to have some fun with it. Pretty much everyone in the NFC East almost everyone in the NFC East has their quarterback moving forward. And I think with the depth that this draft has on offensive tackles, I think the Chargers could still get an elite one at 19. So we're going to propose this trade. Washington's going to try to move up. And bam, they get their quarterback of the future, Mac Jones. Who? Mac Jones. Boy, it's time he stops falling. Again, I know it's still rumored that he could be the Niners pick at number 3. I'm going with the more upside with Trey Lance. And I think Mac Jones is perfect for Washington. He's a distributor. Washington has some good playmakers. What Washington doesn't need is a gunslinger. And that's the last thing Mac Jones is. Now, people underestimate his athletic ability. The kid can move, but he's not a gunslinger. He's a distributor. He's a point guard. And that's exactly what Washington needs. They already have an elite defense. They got a couple of really good wide receivers. What they need is someone just to get the ball to them and make plays. That's what Mac Jones does. Now at 14, the Minnesota Vikings, they need a corner. Like really bad. I know they just added Patrick Peterson. But they could really use another boundary outside corner. You know Mike Zimmer. Defense thrives when it comes to corners. So I'm going with J.C. Horn. Plug and play guy. And so, yeah, that's what I'm rolling with. 15, the Detroit Lions. Boy, do they need a receiver. And they need a receiver pretty badly. But I've always been at the mindset that you can get a wide receiver anywhere. Having said all that, I believe the Detroit Lions make a slight reach at wide receiver. This guy to me is so criminally underrated. He's my wide receiver 4. And before free agency, I debated whether or not the Giants should take him at 11. So at 15, the Lions still get their guy. They get some picks back, and they'll go with Rashard Bateman. Again, criminally underrated. Criminally underrated. I've seen mocks where he's gone late into the first round. I think he's a mid first round pick. Like, I'm truly believe that I'm going to make a bold prediction. Rashard Bateman is going to be this year's version of Justin Jefferson, where no one talks about home. Almost the entire process of the draft, he lands with a team with a good quarterback. And say what you want, Jared Goff is still pretty solid. And we see what he could do with good wide receiver talent. Rashard Bateman, to me, he's almost the closest guy outside of Jamar Chase to Kenny Golladay. And yeah, welcome to Detroit Lions. Please don't ruin this kid, please. At number 16, Arizona. They too could use offensive line help, and I mean really badly. But I like some of the tackles that they have. I think what they need more than anything else is a corner. So I'm going to give them Greg Newsome, the second out of Northwestern. Plug and play guy. He's good in zone. He can play in the slot a little bit. He can man up outside. I really like this kid. I did a film study on him. I believe I was watching Talking Giants with, I think they did a film breakdown on him, and I was like, wow. No, this kid is something. He's a playmaker. And the fact that Arizona lost both their corners and they only signed, Malcolm Butler to I think a one-year deal, they need another outside corner. And so that's where I have the Cardinals going with the 16th pick. Number 17. Gotta back this up a little bit. Number 17. Las Vegas Raiders. Man, they really need an offensive tackle. Like in the worst way. This is difficult. You know what? I've been doing this. This has been my instant mock for the Raiders. I am going to give them... I'm going to change it up a little bit. Because they still need pass rush. Man, this is really difficult. Because I really want to give them Christian Darrisaw. Because they need offensive tackle help. But man, JOK would be such a good fit for them. Such a talented player. And they need linebacker safety help in the worst way possible. So you know what? Yeah, I just talked to myself. Let's give them JOK. Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah. Impact player in the middle of your defense. At number 18, Miami. You got your receiver. Now, let's continue to protect Tua. He's my number one guard in this draft class. Bam. Elijah Vera-Tucker. Pair him next to last year's first round pick, Austin Jackson. And you're starting to fortify that offensive line. And look over here. Chargers. Perfect the way this board broke down. Absolutely perfect. You still get the guy that you were probably going to take at 13. And you get him at 19 plus picks. Already an A+ draft for the Chargers. You got your quarterback. Now, let's protect him. Get him that blindside protector. Christian Darrisaw out of Virginia Tech. Number 20, Chicago. How disappointing. Very disappointing. Andy Dalton. Wow. Not a great fit, but hey, it's what they have. Number 20, the Chicago Bears select. Time to come off the board. Azeez Ojulari. They lost Leonard Floyd. And so now they get probably the closest guy to him in Azeez Ojulari. Number 21, the Indianapolis Colts. They need an offensive tackle, but they could also add another receiver. So I am going to give the Indianapolis Colts their new starting tackle out of Texas, Samuel Cosmi. Plug and play guy to replace Anthony Costanzo. Number 22, Tennessee Titans. Need edge rushers the worst way possible. I believe they run a 4-3 scheme. So we're gonna give them, even though I would love to give them Jalen Phillips. Kwity Paye is the guy. Less entry concerns, and the Jets, they get their number one edge rusher in Jalen Phillips. Sorry with the notifications over here, guys. 24, Pittsburgh Steelers. Gotta help Big Ben. Really gotta help him. Gotta get him either a running back or another offensive lineman. But with most of the great ones off the board, you gotta give him a weapon, someone to help take the pressure off of him. And Najee Harris is the guy. Plug and play guy. Kind of reminds me of Le'Veon Bell a little bit. Threat out of the backfield. He's got that patience, power running style. I like that. I like him a lot. 25. You got your quarterback. Now go get his weapon. Travis Etienne. But they already have some good running backs. You can never run out of good running backs. Never. And at 26. Man, as much as I would love to give them Christian Darrisaw right here, they're already kind of set as far as their defensive line goes. So I'm going to give them a linebacker, Jamid Davis out of Kentucky. He's a really good signal caller. He's a rover. He makes plays so quietly. And yet, when you look at the stat sheet, you're like, this guy had 15 to 20 tackles? What the heck? I like this kid a lot. I feel like he's kind of being slept on. I think he could be that last missing piece for the Browns defense. And then at 27, Baltimore. Got to get an offensive tackle. Now that you lost Orlando Brown, I know there's reports saying that they are probably going to sign Villanueva. I'm not so sure. About that. You know what? On second thought, let's go edge. Give Baltimore their edge rusher. Out of Texas, Joseph Asai. At number 28, this is finally where he comes off the board. This is where he finally comes off the board. I don't know. I've seen so many mock drafts saying that Creed Humphrey may slip into the second round. I don't know about that. I really don't know about that. I think he adds an element to their offensive line. He could play both guard and center. Creed Humphrey. And at 29, at number 29, the Green Bay Packers, they need linebacker help. But you know what? Let's give Aaron Rodgers another toy. Kadarius Toney. Welcome to Green Bay. You're going to be playing with a future Hall of Famer, man. 30, Buffalo Bills. Christian Barmore. Bam. Best interior defensive lineman. Number 31, Baltimore. Let's get you your number one receiver. Terrence Marshall. And last but not least, the Super Bowl champions Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Because of how loaded their roster is, they could kind of take a chance on home. People are going to think I'm crazy. But I think Gregory Rousseau will be a nice fit for them. I really do. I think he adds great size and length to that Buccaneers front four. Okay, he can actually learn behind great interior defensive linemen like Vita Veda and Ndamukong Suh. I think he'd be a good fit for that. Again, he's more of a project, and I believe that Tampa Bay would pick him here so they could get that 5th-year option. But again, I think Rousseau, while I'm not super high on him. I think he has some talent, but he's not going to come in and change the franchise by no means. But I think he'd be a good fit for Tampa Bay in their roster. And hey, he gets to stay in Florida. So that will be the end of my round one. Of my final mock draft. Again, I'm going to be going live with Hub and KB, and I'm going to be on Big Pat's channel tomorrow night. This is your boy Talk Sports, and I'm signing off, everyone. Peace.